Hi, welcome to the latest Plimsoll webinar. Now this is a special webinar today because we're going to look at some of the key steps business owners and stakeholders need to take to maximise the value of their business. When it is actually eventually time to sell and bridge the gap between what it's currently worth and what it could potentially be worth. Now, you may well be far into your planning stage of selling your business and your succession planning. You might be taking the first tentative steps on that succession planning journey. You may have no plans at all for the foreseeable future. Now, to all of you, we encourage that the longer you plan and the more thought through your plan is, the more your business will be worth when your sale eventually happens. Every business owner has a figure in mind. But could it be much more than that? I mean, that's the key question. It's why we're here, let's be honest. But what steps could you take to achieve a much higher value than a traditional valuation model would calculate? Yeah, it's 2021. The way businesses are valued is changing, and it's changing rapidly. Gone are the days of solely relying on a PE calculation of your pre-tax profit and relying on EBITDA was your only source of value. I mean, increasingly today, the E in EBITDA, yes, it means earnings, but it also allows for an element of excitement. Some would even say exuberance. So traditional valuation methods taken in isolation have become detached from the prices companies command these days. So let's start today's proceedings by looking at some of the world's biggest companies to highlight that particular issue. Apple, Tesla, Deliveroo, Alphabet, the list goes on. You can reel the names off, I'm sure. Now, whether they're making phones, electric cars, whether they're delivering your Saturday night takeaway, all of these companies have one thing in common: the book value, the traditional valuation of their business is significantly, or often by many multiples, lower than the actual share price or the ultimate value that's placed in it. But why is that? Why is there such a discrepancy? And it's basically because investors are buying the excitement around the company. They're buying the future. They're buying a future vision of what the company could be in 10, 20, 50 years' time. Now, these companies sell a vision to potential investors. Now, let's face it, they're the ultimate owners after all. They sell a vision of what the company's going to be rather than what it is now and what it has been. Apple makes phones, but so do 100 other companies. Tesla makes cars. Ford's been doing it, and all the other companies have been doing it for centuries. What they're really selling is a future. Now, the excitement around their brand is that it will continue to lead, it will continue to innovate. And I suppose it will be relatively future-proof and continue to return on the investment made by its shareholders and investors. Now, while there may be irrational exuberance in some values, the lessons to maximise your value, your own value, start with those companies. And obviously most companies aren't as big as Apple, of course. Of course they're not. So the focus today is going to be on taking those lessons and applying them to small and medium-sized companies like yours. Now, business is business, and any company can extract a premium price by showcasing their future to new investors. So let's get started with the 6 steps that we feel you need to take to maximise your own value as part of your own succession planning. Step 1, know your own value now. It's an old adage, but how do you know where you're going if you don't know where you've been? And building the vision of the future of your business, what your company's going to be and what its value could be, starts with understanding the fundamentals right from the very start. Now, based on the traditional ratios, what is your company currently worth? Now, as part of this initial step, it's imperative to understand a few other elements around your current value, including what is the trend in value of your business over the past 5 years? Have you a history of increasing the value of your business? Can you explain away any years where the business has fallen, where the value of the business has fallen, And how does the value of your business compare to other similar options? Now, at Plimsoll, we offer a confidential, bespoke valuation service that takes away the stress and time required to complete these steps. Based on financial data and a personalised consultation, we can develop a top-level current valuation of your business and an instant picture of the trend in that value. Now, presenting a complete picture of the value of your business and its ability to deliver increasing value is key to convincing potential buyers that they're investing in the future. They're investing in your potential. Step 2, build and maintain a list of potential acquisition targets. Now, it sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? You're thinking of selling your business, so why look for acquisition targets? Makes no sense. Well, the answer to that is really simple. As you attempt to emulate what the major companies are doing and try and bridge that gap between what your company is currently worth and the premium value that you want it to command, you need to give a credible future vision for what your company is going to be, what it could be. Now, the fastest and most efficient way for any company to grow is to acquire another. Now, whether that's acquiring a competitor, whether that's moving into other markets, or whether it's buying up or down your value or your supply chain. Imagine being able to put in front of any potential suitors for your own company a comprehensive list of viable businesses that they could buy when they own the business, a thorough understanding of the value and potential of each of those deals, and an instant calculation of how that would affect your company's future value and its status in its key markets. Now, the importance of having and maintaining a list of acquisition targets is fairly obvious. You never really know when another company will proposition you. You never know when somebody's going to come knocking at your door asking you to sell. You can't guess when your own circumstances might dictate that you need to accelerate your succession planning. So keeping a viable strategy in your desk at all times to present to any potential suitors for your business will pay dividends in any negotiations and increase your chance of selling your vision. Now, who knows? If you have a maintained acquisition list, you might even act on that beforehand, before you even move to the succession planning or selling. You might think the time is right, which is even better. Being able to demonstrate that the viability of your strategy, the viability of the vision that you're selling is even more potent if you can prove that you've actually actioned it and it's viable. Now, finding potential acquisition targets for clients is one of Plimsoll's longest standing services. And we're the leading provider of the intelligence companies need to start the process, both immediately and for the long term. Now, our expertise is unique. Just tell us your criteria, value, sales, region, and so on. And we'll match a list of the best possible companies for your business. Now, sharing that with potential buyers in negotiations is the simplest way to show that they're not just buying what you are now, but they're buying what you could be in the future. Step 3, have a list of buyers. So you've drawn a line in the sand as to what your current base price is, and you've started to pull together a full sales pitch showcasing an asking price that represents your future potential that you could put in front of potential buyers. Now's the time to start looking at who might want to buy that vision. Now, many companies utilize brokerages. They put word out through their networks, their social networks, that they're open to offers for their business, or they just wait for a chance offer and go with it. All perfectly fine. But they're really the best way to maximize the price you receive for your business and its future vision. Short answer is no. No, it's not. The key to maximizing the overall sale value of your business is to have several interested parties that will allow you to maintain an elevated value for your business with competing parties. Eliminate the danger of a collapsed deal by relying and negotiating on just one buyer. Or understand the financial strength of suitors to avoid the vulnerable. You don't want to get into bed with somebody who's going to collapse. Now, having a pre-assessed list of potential suitors will strengthen your hand in negotiations, as both parties know that there are other options in the process. There are other parties at the table. Now, the likelihood of a swift deal completed at the right price for you is far more likely than if you're just left with one option. Plimsoll can help you to find the companies with the means and the likely interest in acquiring a company such as yours in the near or maybe distant future. We remove the complexity of searching for you and the wasted time of contacting companies who don't have the resources to do a deal for your company. If you are planning your succession, we can help you build your likely buyers list, keep it fresh, and look at alternatives as conditions changed, both within your business and within the wider economy, because a list now might not be appropriate in 5 years' time when you're much bigger. Step 4, build a strong customer base. One of the strongest hands that a seller has in negotiations is its order book or its client list. Some fabulous high profit businesses, they shed value in the sales process when the other parties see their reliance on one whale client, one large client. The whale client leaves or fails, your business could be worth a fraction of what you paid for it almost overnight, and that will reflect in negotiated price. Now, to bridge the gap between current and a much higher potential value, again, you need to sell that vision. Now, the best way to do that is to have a strong customer base. And to do that, you need to have two things right now. You need to know who the best and financially strongest potential customers that you could serve, not those that you necessarily serve now, but those that you could serve. Once you've identified these companies, work hard to develop relationships with them. Get in with these companies. And number 2, among your current clients and customers, what's the profile of companies that you're serving? Do you have a problem with payments? Have you had a client fail to pay? Are you serving predominantly small companies? Now, we encourage all our clients to perform this type of CRM assessment on an ongoing basis. Firstly, is a good housekeeping measure to spot any customers displaying signs of financial distress, so you can reduce your exposure, which helps maintain your value, but also to present to buyers. Now, for the purposes of increasing the value of your business, it's a vital weapon in your arsenal to be able to put a full financial stability and health study on the table in negotiations that say, look, we serve the biggest, we serve the best, we serve the financially strongest companies. We are a low risk investment. The buying off, it makes you more of an off the peg, higher value acquisition. Also, being able to present a list of potential new customers showcases how big your business could be, and that the future business that you are selling is based on solid foundations. A subscription to Plimsoll allows you to take your current CRM contacts and then examine them through the prism of our assessment tools that instantly assess the health, the prospects, the status of your current customer list. And what's more, we also provide search tools that let you see every other company that matches that profile and identify lookalike audiences. Identifying how big your customer pot could be, it could be in the future or under new ownership, is critical to selling the vision and increasing the value of your business. Step 5, know your own strength. So by this stage, you should have developed a strategic path to what your company could be in the future, and you've started to develop a price in your head that reflects that future vision. Of course, as with all things in life, there are other options. Potential suitors looking to buy a company in your ecosystem within your industries will have several options. You have one challenge. Your challenge is to make yours the one. How does your company compare to the other options? How do you sell your vision to a buyer if they think that they can get similar for cheaper elsewhere? The answers really lie in good analysis and presenting answers to the questions that come up in negotiations. Those key questions including, where your company excels compared to the rest, what steps you've taken to address where you lag, the weaknesses and pitfalls of choosing one of the other options, and how acquiring your company would impact on the companies that are left behind. Now, being aware of your competition is a good ongoing housekeeping exercise for all companies, certainly and senior decision makers within those companies. To be able to present knowledgeable insight into other companies outside your own and be able to demonstrate why yours is a better option assures buyers they're taking on a business from someone they can trust. What's more, if there's a period of handover under new ownership, which often happens, then your buyers will likely pay more if they feel there is a strong leadership structure in place to steward the company through that post-acquisition process. Plimsoll has several benchmarking tools that will allow you to build and maintain a competitive comparison, showing how your company compares to its peers. Now, whether you're measuring growth, efficiency, return on investment, future potential, or long-term health, will allow you to better understand how you compare and present that intelligence during negotiations to, again, sell the vision and maintain the price that you want to achieve. Step 6, fix your dependencies. One of the key reasons that companies lose value is their dependencies. Having too many dependencies bakes in an element of risk when buying your business. These might include over-reliance on one person or a specific group of employees, serving markets that are in a vulnerable position, supply chain dependencies, market access and legislative issues. Now, fixing these dependencies, or at least demonstrating how easily they could be fixed, is key to maintaining that high value for your business. There are a number of steps to take to negate these dependencies, including break down your knowledge monopolies, document procedures, and train your current staff. A business reliant on one or two people it won't command a premium price. What happens if that key member of staff leaves? If you, as the business leader, are the one person the business relies on, it's probably time to let go of some of that responsibility if you want to maximise your value in the future. Do buyers feel that there is even a business without you? Assess the long-term growth in your key markets and start exploring new ones that you could serve. Which other high-growth markets could you serve that will remove your dependency on those that are perhaps on the wane? Look at some examples like the direct-to-consumer model that some restaurants and other suppliers have started to overcome the challenges of the last 18 months or so. Maintaining a supply chain analysis is vital to fix your dependencies. But could you take it further and bring some of your supply chain in-house? Certainly adding the security to your own process and potentially disrupting the customers all add to the moat around your business value. With Brexit and other challenges around the world, how do you show buyers how they can maintain key market access, buying a presence in the EU, or at the very least presenting a list of potential targets is a far, far more proactive, value-protecting option than simply opening a shell office on the continent. So dependencies are the value traps that reduce what your business is worth. Covering them off is critical to protect the value of your business, and in the meantime to protect your own longevity too. As soon as potential buyers do due diligence on your business, those things are going to be becoming instantly apparent, so they need to be fixed now. Now, Plimsoll can provide the analysis to back up the decisions that you make. If you're going into new markets, which markets should you look at? And where's the growth? If you're looking to buy a similar company to your own in the EU to retain single market access, who and where are the best options? We can help you monitor and address your dependencies based on insight and analysis rather than just pure guesswork and hope. And what's more, we can help you producing the intelligence you need to present that to potential new owners that, again, will ensure you protect your value. So those are the 6 steps that we recommend you need to take to ensure your business is as valuable as possible when the time comes to sell. Presenting your business as a buyable premium acquisition option means understanding, monitoring and presenting key strategic elements of your business to new owners. They've got to be convinced to pay for what the future holds rather than what you've done in the past. That can't be realistically achieved from a standing start. Just when somebody walks through the door, just when you decide to sell. It needs to be an ongoing process, and it needs to probably start now. Now, some company owners plan their sales years in advance. Others have no intention of selling at all, but a determined buyer comes in and forces the issue. And unfortunately, sometimes personal circumstances change and force a sale. Now, whenever the moment arrives where you sat across the table from a party that's looking to buy your business, you will always get a better deal if you've operated it like you were planning to sell it for years. It really doesn't matter why you were selling your business or when. The key to generating a sale price that reflects what your company could be worth is in selling the vision. If along the way you act on some of the plans you're developing for new owners, so be it. That's great. Just go back to your plan, amend it, tweak your value, review your options, change your benchmarking parameters, and then move on to the next step. But if you run your business like you're preparing to sell it every day, it reaps rewards. You can't add value to your business once it's sold. You can't add any more value to it. The time to do it is today. So I just want to take a couple of minutes now just to show you a quick video that showcases how Plimsoll can help you achieve some of the things that we've covered here today. So, thanks for attending today. I hope you enjoyed it. And as a special thank you, we're offering everyone a free report looking into the ideas discussed today in a little bit more depth, and also to let you recap at your leisure and start your own plans for the future. So if you just email us at sales@plimsoll.uk, and you can claim your free copy, and we'll get that sent across to you straight away. If you'd also if you'd like to actually discuss some of the processes and discuss some of the services, and maybe start your own process, and you're interested in how Plimsoll can help you to build and maintain all of the elements discussed here today, just give one of our consultants a call. It's 01642 626 400, or again, email us at sales@plimsoll.uk. So best of luck everyone, and hope to speak to you all again soon.